Okay, it's getting serious in this video. We're getting to the point. There is one policy we have never touched base on here in the channel, and it is quite instrumental. This policy helps, I believe, bring dealerships even more power to flipping cars for crazy money. We've gone dealer to dealer. We've called dealer to dealer trying to buy the new Corvette ZR1. But there's one element that no one really talks about, and a few people have brought this up to me recently. It's absolutely critical in terms of making these cars even more hard to get, and I think just scales the entire market into a strange direction where the dealers have so much power that the consumer is kind of held powerless with no leverage. So what I'm talking about is this. Yes, dealers are legally allowed to mark up cars to whatever numbers they deem, because in America, what was meant to give more power to the independent small dealership and business owner has kind of backfired over the ages. Now, since prices cannot be deemed by the franchise itself, Chevy, the franchisee, is able to play around with that manufacturer suggested retail price. Let me know, by the way, before we get any further, do you think this was a good idea to separate the prices between Chevy and the dealers, Ford and the dealers, in general, the franchisees from the franchise? Is that a good idea? I guess it can be, because if you are a small dealer and you are struggling to sell a car, you need to be able to change the price of the vehicle. Or if you have the opportunity to make more money, it just makes the most sense for them to be able to do that. However, when they charge $100,000 over sticker instantly just because this is a new car and you want it, this is when the customers like to throw out words like exploitation and other thoughts, because they go, this is getting so bad and greedy that it's not only painting the Chevrolet brand in a bad name, it's making me not want to buy a Chevy product or a Ford product or a Porsche product. We're not exclusively talking Chevy with that. This affects all sorts of brands. However, what we are talking about with the Chevy brand is that there's a contract you have to sign that dictates you cannot sell your Corvette ZR1 for 1 year after you buy it, or what is the or? Well, the warranty is void. Oh, by the way, if you are getting a new Corvette ZR1 and you guys need any paint protection film, ceramic coating, and more, give us a call. Speed Phenom Film, our HQ in Carlsbad. We'd love to wrap your vehicle protected, put windshield protection film or more. If you have any car, we'd love to give you those services, because we started this place to bring back to all of you. You'll find our contact on top of the screen or down below in the description. Call 760-496-8607. So this is where it gets kind of interesting, because if you sell your ZR1 within 1 year of buying it, whoever is going to buy your car is going to have a $250,000 1,000 horsepower Corvette with no warranty, but it's brand new, but it's only 8 months old, but it only has 100 miles on it, and it's 6 months old, yet you have no warranty. When we're doing this analysis online, looking at all these cars for sale, and I'll just pull it back up. When we're looking at these ZR1s for sale, here's another one, right? New ZR1, 0 miles, up right there, look, plus 95 grand. Just like that. It's like just adding on like another item on top. Okay, there you go, plus 95 grand. Everybody, you gonna pay it? It's just like it feels like that, doesn't it? And when you finance a car that's that expensive, a $315,000 Corvette, wow, that's just, sorry, I'm looking at that total number and it's blowing me away. The point is this: so if you were to buy a used one of these for 315 grand, and they're all over the internet, the used car sites for 300 plus grand, you're effectively buying it without a warranty. Did you know that? Did you know that? I never mentioned it before. I should have. If it's a used car and it's not being sold by the original dealer as new, you're going to lose the warranty, it seems, based off that contract. I know what you're thinking. Why are they doing that? It comes off as an anti-flipping process, and it seems pro-dealer. With that being said, it effectively tells the customers, we don't want you making a profit by reselling our cars, but dealerships are absolutely free to charge whatever the market will bear the second it rolls off the truck. This policy essentially hurts the enthusiast, the second owner, and it gives the dealerships the golden ticket to maintain a $100,000 markup on their car. Because the flipper, again, is deterred because the risk of getting blacklisted, which is one of the things that you get if you bought and sold your ZR1, you'll be blacklisted from buying another performance Corvette. And the reduction in resale value due to the voided warranty is just going to make flipping less lucrative and far riskier for the average speculator. Furthermore, the dealers are they're enthroned since private flippers are discouraged from capturing the extra market value. The only remaining entity with the legal right to capture the extreme demand and charge the premium are the franchise dealers. So does this make much sense to you? It almost should make more sense of not voiding the warranty or blacklisting customers who flip their cars. Allow the flipping to happen, because if it's allowed to happen from the new car stage, why not allow it from the used car stage? Because then the dealers have even more power, because they'd say, okay, yeah, you can buy this used Corvette ZR1 online for 50 grand cheaper than ours. However, you won't get a warranty. You have to go through us, the dealer, to get a warranty for this car. Are you going to track it? Are you going to enjoy it? Are you worried at all about the reliability for the first or second year ever of a 1,000 horsepower Corvette? Well, obviously, you better pay the extra $50K more. They can have an even higher profit margin above the used market value simply because of this blacklisting deal, this contract. So it just really puts the dealers in this prime position to get even more out of it. This is a very just sketchy profit loophole, it feels like, a flaw where the dealer just wins in the end of the day. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Does this make much sense? Would you be a fan of this trend? Would you want this to go the way it's going? Or do you think that giving the used buyer the same power that the new car dealership has, would that equalize the market, where it's not going to be simply single-faced, where you have to go through a Chevy dealer if you want one of these new cars, or else you're going to get a Corvette that Chevy doesn't want to deal with anymore, right? It's very fascinating. We're a fan of all these companies. We love testing the products, but this is important coverage, and it's important to share stuff that you possibly wouldn't know, give some thoughts on the matter, capture some opinions, throw out some analogies and questions to get your thoughts on it. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button. It really helps me out. And subscribe for much more great content coming out your way. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss a new video. I'll see you in the next one.